I'm Stephanie,
And I'm Yolinda.
and we are the Cozy Chicas. So, welcome to our latest episode. We're going to be talking about dreams. Are you dreaming at this moment?
Wake up, guys. So, basically, there's several topics that we can talk about concerning dreams. So, one of the ones I think we can focus on today would be dream interpretation or dream analysis. So, we all have, those reoccurring dreams, reoccurring themes, the same things we see, hear, feel, depending on how well you dream. But do you ever really know what they mean? Steph, do you have any reoccurring dreams?
I haven't had in a while because I've been very tired, and that happens with overexhaustion, being busy.
Mm-hmm.
But there are times I've dreamt where I've been flying in my dreams. Like I'll start like walking and then I start to fly, like in the movies, right? Like Superman. Just imagine just flying. And, there's always a hidden meaning between what you dream.
Exactly. So, one of my favorite people is Carl Jung. I believe I mentioned him in the last episode for a game that I was talking about, Persona. So, Carl Jung is a super famous psychiatrist, psychotherapist, and psychologist. So, he founded the School of Analytical Psychology, and he's also known as Jungian psychology. So, this is just some backstory information for whenever we talk about more dream topics. So, he's recognized for his concept of the collective unconscious, archetype, individuation, personality types, and the shadow. So, you see all these kinds of things in movies, games, books, but it's never really out there, that in your face. He's influenced a lot of fields like psychology, literature, and religious studies. So he thought that dreams were tools for expanding the unconscious, messages from the unconscious. So it's basically your unconscious is telling you something through your dreams. So he suggested keeping dream journals, making associations between dream elements, and exploring the emotional impact of dreams. So every single thing that you dream of is different compared to the next person. So you can be dreaming of snakes and it could be horrible. It could have a horrible meaning because you're terrified of snakes. And another person could be dreaming of snakes and it could be amazing. Like maybe their first pet was a snake that they always wanted and they think they're cool. So it means something different for everyone. So, dream analysis involves understanding the dream symbolic language and relating it to the dreamer's personal history, your conscious attitudes, and broader cultural context. Different cultures have symbols that mean different things. So, you can say that dreams are the natural expression of our imagination. So, Steph, when you say that you're dreaming of flying, are you choosing to fly or is it just spontaneous?
Well, if I'm being chased, like in the dream, I'm like, okay, I gotta get away, fly. But then sometimes I'm like, it could be a very happy dream, and then spontaneously I'm just flying then from like the field or from the building, depending where the dream is, where that's located.
Yeah, that's how you know what it means. If you're having fun and then you're flying, then you're free and, having a blast. But if you're randomly walking and you just shoot up in the sky, that's straight up anxiety.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, that would be. And then or like I dream sometimes recurring, like I start an adventure and then Chris, I see him there, my husband, and then he does something in the dream, like talks to me for briefly or whatever, and then he leaves. And then he just leaves me to solve whatever issue I have to resolve it in my dream. And then I wake up the next day, I'm like, babe, like you left me in the dream to solve it again. Like you just left me there.
Yes, that's from a place of fear of having to deal with things alone. So very different. For me, when I have nightmares, my dad's never in my dreams because if he's in my dreams, then I wouldn't be scared. It wouldn't be a nightmare. So basically, if I have him there, then he can protect me. But if he's not there, then it's a nightmare.
Uh,
Yeah. Have you ever had memories inside your dreams?
yeah, like of family trips. I had one recently of like just going to the mall with my grandma and with my auntie. I think my mom sometimes she'll just join us like in my dream. Now my grandma and my mom have passed, so it's rare to see them in my dreams. Of them just like we're listening to a specific music that we all like on the car ride in my dream, as we go to the store to buy clothes or something. That'd be one of our activities we used to do.
But are those memories that happened in real life?
Yeah, there are parts like I said, like a car drive, and they're all there, and we're having a conversation or just listening to a music, like a favorite famous artist of ours, and then we just go. And keep in mind on the podcast if you hear some little sound effects, is the little one Oreo. So
She's definitely not asleep right now.
no. Imagine dogs. Do they dream what they're dreaming about? Well, I know when she
They
dreams
do dream.
Oreo, she's like kicking and like running. She's I'm like, where are you running off to?
Yes. My dog starts like whimpering in his sleep after he's had a super, super exciting day. I think he's dreaming that he's still playing.
Yeah, they do that.
It's super cute.
Sometimes she'll stick her tongue out. Like when she's having a really good dream, I can see her, she's just like upside down, with her tongue sticking out a little bit, her nose is like twitching, and her paws are like twitching a little bit.
She's probably dreaming she's eating a treat.
Yeah, she loves her bananas and apples.
Pobrecita, she's even hungry in her dreams.
Oh no, she eats a lot. We went to the vet and they said, hey, she gained 2 pounds. So like, yeah, she's chunky. Una gordita bonita. And gordita means, chubby, but that's all good though. Curvy.
It's a puppy. Well, it's a dog, not a puppy. She's still a baby to me.
She's small. There's even toy size of hers. Well, anyway, we delayed a little bit with dreams the topic, but yeah. So definitely dreams. There's a hidden meaning. My mom used to tell me, used to have dream books, because back then we didn't really have the internet as disposable yet to be able to look for something quite easily.
Mm-hmm.
Not all information was out there yet. But yeah, my mom would share with dream books, and it's almost like a dictionary. You look up, if you dreamt with a baby, and then what's the meaning behind that,
Yes, it all depends. I have several dream journals, meaning ones that I've written in myself. Like I have,
those are good.
Yes, like I've written all my dreams out, and it's hard at first to remember your dreams, but the more you write them, the easier it is to recall them. I also believe, I'm not sure, that if you're a person that's very aware in your waking life, then that does transfer to your dreams. I used to get a lot of sleep paralysis when I was in high school. I mean, I still do. And I used to pinch myself every single day to make sure that I was really awake. And I did that so much that I started doing that in my dreams because it became a habit. And then I was just able to lucid dream because I was aware that I was dreaming.
Yeah, that's something, if an action or something you do apparently during the day, like that will be vivid in your dreams and later in your subconscious. That's why we replay it in our dreams, because it could be like for example, you're traveling and you see a location, maybe you were on by a certain location or like experience with someone, you'll replay it in your dreams the next day or that night, depending how strong the emotion was.
Yes.
Or the imagery,
Yes. There's lots of things that you might ignore in your waking life and you repress, and it just comes out or seeps into your unconscious in your dreams. Basically, your mind is trying to tell you something. It happens a lot, and the more you remember your dreams, the easier it is to recognize where it's coming from. Something I find interesting is how people dream. For example, I can read in my dreams, I can taste, smell, feel. Things actually do hurt in my dreams. I can do all of that. but I've heard that there's people that dream in black and white. Some people can't read things. One thing for sure that I can't do in my dreams is make a phone call.
Oh no.
I can never make a phone call in my dream
Oh.
or tell the time.
Oh. Well, I definitely. For me, I see color. It's rare when I see black and white. And but phone call, maybe I actually made a call or two. Or what I find interesting, if I see family relatives, especially if they pass on, they don't talk, but I know by
Mm.
just their body expression, like their facial expression or what they're doing, they've like, just a smile or something, like letting me know, oh, I'm all right, or I agree with that or disagree with something. I could tell just by, but voices though, it's been, for example, it's been years since I've heard my mom's voice, so in my dreams I barely, kind of vividly, not so very well, recognize her voice or hear it, because I don't know how it sounds like exactly,
Mm-hmm.
unless I have the recordings, which how my mom would record my childhood pretty much, of like, family gatherings and things like that. That's where I get my like photography skills from, and like for that hobby because of her. Um, but yeah, dreams, you can definitely see a different perspective, something you haven't thought about before. And you can also it could also warn you about people or things. Like what, maybe you have an interview, job interview coming up, for example, and you're dreaming about what the interview will be, who you've met, who's going to be there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're thinking about that all day when you dream. Then you can probably have like sometimes I've had like a practice mock interview of what the dream,
That's the
like what would
thing.
happen in the interview.
Yes, I believe there's a study on that you can practice things. Like when you're dreaming about it, it's your mind practicing in your
Mm.
sleep. I remember when we had that coding class, I would keep dreaming about the codes.
Oh yeah, man, there was a lot to go into that. I mean, it's not easy. Um, and I would be thinking about, or the replay the day. Like, oh, we took
Mm-hmm.
the bus, we went to the class. If we had the science project, I remember we we did the roller coaster project. And
That
I
was
think in
fun.
my dream, I saw us doing that project again, and I just replaying images of the classroom and things like that. Well, one thing I've experienced throughout life is deja vu. A lot of deja vu
Ah.
of like, let's say I dream something, like I could remember like something like when I was 10 or 12, a classroom or talking to some people, but I don't see their faces, but I just see, from the side view, like maybe, I don't know, their hands, or maybe a jacket they're wearing or something, or the room setting. And then years future, then I'm in that same classroom or that group of people, and then I feel like, oh, deja vu, like I've been here, done that, talked to these people before. So yeah, your mind, it's interesting with like dreams.
Yes, I always thought that deja vu feeling was very interesting. It's weird. I don't know. We all experience it though, so it's strange. One thing for sure that I do love doing is interpreting other people's dreams, but you have to know the person and their culture. So I believe I sent this to you. I made a chat GTP. Basically, like you can make your own little specific ones and tailor it to what you want and give it instructions, a description, and upload files. So I did one for dreams and I uploaded several files. I believe it has 8. It has several things from Carl Jung to Alan Watts to actual neurological studies. It also has a data bank of dreams. There are hundreds of dreams. And so I gave it a personality to not make it seem so mystical,
Mhm.
but pretty grounded. And I've been using it to interpret my dreams. And I did it today and it was really good. It almost creeped me up. And I'm like, no, like
It's starting to learn you. I mean, it's a learning machine,
no, that one can't learn.
No,
That one
no.
doesn't remember what you
Oh,
give it
okay.
to it. It's different. But it's really good. I actually got data from the information I gave it today. I put it into a document and then I'm gonna reinsert that into the program for it. But it's amazing. It actually catches patterns of your dreams.
Hmm.
It's really, really good.
Yeah, just be cautious with that because what if you do something wrong or incorrect? Like I'm just remembering with like our coding class, if we put one comma wrong in the wrong place, the program
Oh,
wouldn't work,
well,
right?
this one's
But
different. This one doesn't
yeah,
have coding.
okay. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm just saying,
Yeah,
like with coding, like you have certain steps, but
yeah.
with AI, right, you're writing the specific description, how you want the program to run, and things like that, or how to respond with you. Like you said, not to make it more mystical, but more grounded, kind of
Hmm.
like speech, and you can make that tailored. It's like if people don't know how to use it very effectively, they might solely rely on something like that and not get accurate information.
Well, basically, no one is ever going to have the perfect interpretation that's not the actual individual who's experiencing the dream,
Mm-hmm.
because only the person that has those dreams truly knows what it means for them. Literally half of the interpretations or analysis of your dream has to do with how you're feeling in that moment.
Oh, okay. That's just for our listeners to be able to understand because if you're not familiar with AI or maybe AI is your go-to with everything, but then just to be, I don't know, I'm just a cautious person. So
Hmm.
just to keep things, not to keep like I remember with my mom's dream journals, I wouldn't believe it 100% because
Of
again, it goes
course.
back to you as an individual, what you experience, what is the true meaning, what's going on.
Hmm.
It could be also that you might watch something scary before going to bed, and that fear of that scary movie is like interpreting with your rest of your day.
Yes.
So
But what I mean is, though, for example, if you have a nightmare from something you watched, then that's not something you would actually try to interpret since you understand that it's a
yeah.
nightmare from something you saw.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I actually have its personality programmed to not tell you like, oh, it's this and that and that, because no, it's an interpretation. There's no way that it can actually give you a concrete answer.
Okay.
Yes, it'll identify patterns. Like I did add instructions to identify patterns and common themes across your dreams. But I sent it to one of our friends and I've been updating it and fixing it, and I'll still do that again.
It's good. It's like your project, like your dream
Yeah,
project, literally. You're seeing trial and error. What works, what doesn't work, and with more data compiled, then you're able to form a better hypothesis and determination about certain things. What you're working on,
yes.
you know.
Basically, you can understand yourself better and see
Yeah.
what you're hiding from yourself, what you're really scared of. Like for me, I had a bunch of dreams last night and I put them into ChatGTP, and it helped me realize that every single one of the dreams that I had like four dreams, had to do with being in a threshold,
Mm.
like in the middle of a door, not in one room or not in the other, just standing there. And it noticed that for me. I didn't notice it. And I was like, oh, wow, that's pretty interesting. And it's like, it could be that maybe you're trying to transition or you're about to, make a new step, or maybe your life
A
is
change,
changing.
yeah.
Yes. But you're recognizing that something can happen and that something might change. But it's just an interpretation again. So I agreed with that because I do view being in between two rooms as, like
Well,
a shift.
like you shared, you just recently moved. You're
Yes.
adjusting to the move. You've done big changes for yourself.
Exactly. And
So
then just, like work stuff, family stuff, and just personal life. And I'm just like, yeah, like I do agree with that. And I thought it was interesting that it was able to identify that or catch that.
that's good. That's good. That's exciting. That we can use now AI as a way, and I just think about our future kids. Like this is gonna be their norm to them. Like, oh, let me check GPT. What was my dream instead of. I also have the books though. Like
Yes.
what we used to do back in my day.
Yes. You
To
can
bring
make your
dreams.
own book with what
Yeah,
everything means.
that's true. We could definitely go on another topic later on about AI and then the use of
Mm-hmm.
that, and all that. But with the dreams, for sure, there's a lot of interpretation. People can interpret from a third person point of view, your own point of view, and dreams to me, I feel like are like a work of art in itself because you form this image, imminent imagination in your mind of what goes on, how you feel. Art has emotion, so dreams have
Yes.
emotion into it. You feel a certain type of way, and then that vivid imagery just recalls with you.
Exactly. It's your natural expression of our imagination. It's your mind just having a blast telling you, look, you're not saying this, you're doing this, you're scared of that, you want this, you keep running away from this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of stuff. I also know that they did a study where, I don't know if it was a study or an experiment. They can actually see our dreams now.
Oh,
Yes, they can match. I believe, I'm not, don't quote me on this, but certain brain waves or patterns, they can associate that to an image.
yeah. I mean, I bet there's a lot of studies been going on probably for years about dreams and like actually be able to see the
Hmm.
person's dreams in real time or at least record it.
That's scary. I don't want
Yeah, because
that.
then you don't have privacy, really.
No, I do not want that. That's just too much for me.
You know.
No, but
But
I
I.
do think for the next couple of episodes or whenever we have them, we can definitely talk about sleep paralysis, astral projection. I have way too much info on that and way too many stories. You can talk about, I guess, the mystical or spiritual side of those experiences.
Yeah, most definitely. So we definitely have some topics to talk about for the future. We would like to hear from
Hmm.
you, our listeners. What have you been dreaming about, and have you even used ChatGPT to be able to interpret your dreams? We would love to know.
Hmm.
Share in the comments. We're on TikTok and on Instagram and on YouTube. So we look forward to hearing you in our next episode.
Yeah.
Unless there's something else you would like to share, a nugget of information, Yolanda, before we
Well,
go today.
a little nugget would be, if you want to remember your dreams, the second you wake up, don't move.
Oh, really?
Stay in the same position and stay with the memory of that dream. Recall it, and once you're sure that you remember it, then you can move.
Oh, and then we recommend them writing in your journal right there and then.
Yes,
It's
if
fresh.
you actually want to interpret your dreams or keep track or remember more, then do that. Do that for sure. But I say take this episode as a mini introduction on the topic of dreams, because there's definitely a lot more we can talk about, but I believe that we should just expand bit by bit because it's a pretty heavy subject or a lot of things in it.
So join our journey as we step into about dreams. So have a cozy night or cozy day.
And hope you dream of me.
Or dream with your keep on dreaming.
Yes. Bye, guys.
Bye.